every night we live. We pray for each and all to be well and safe. 24-hour-metta, every minute, every second. As long as we breathe, we pray for each and all with love and kindness. Let's pause a moment, how fortunate we are, what precious human birth. May the Buddha be our guide, to bring peace and love to all.
We will now proceed for dedication of merits.
Brother and sister, let us do our declaration of marriage right now. We just chant the Anumodana. Akasata Bhumata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumodidwa Silang Lakhantu Lokasasanang Akasata Bhumata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumodidwa Silang Lakhantu Desanang Kasata Bhumata Devanaga Mahidika Nyantan Anumodidwa Silang Lakhantu Mampalanti Idame Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Respected members of the Mahasangha, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, good morning and metta greetings. It has been 24 hours of non-stop chanting and prayer for world peace, harmony, and stability. Our round-the-clock non-stop chanting has been brought to a fitting finale with the last hour chanting by our brothers and sisters here, the biggest group of participating organization at 92 packs from our BMSM, Shalam branch, Kajang branch, Putrajaya branch, as well as our welfare section. And also, not forgetting, joining us off-site, we have the Nalanda Buddhist Society. We rejoice with all who have participated and made this yet another historic, spiritually enriching and meaningful event. It is indeed heartening that participation this year totaled 48, 34 on-site participating organizations and 14 off-site. To the volunteers, I wish to take this moment on behalf of the organizing committee to express our heartfelt gratitude for your selfless dedication and the great teamwork in putting metta into action. I would now like to respectfully invite Bhante Mahinda, Spiritual and General Advisor of BMSM, and Spiritual Director of Aloka Foundation, to administer the 5 precepts.
Please prepare your minds to pay homage to Buddha and recite Namo Tassa together. Namo Tassa.
Sam
Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinadana Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kamesu Michachara Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musavada Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majja Pamadatana Viramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Dear brothers and sisters, for now, you may proceed to the front to make the light offering. Yeah, in an orderly manner, perhaps we start with the first two rows first.
Please remember, when you offer the lights, also offer merits, whatever merits that you have done on this occasion, and then make your wish, make your aspiration for the coming year.
you. I would now like to respectfully invite Bhante Mahinda to officially bring this event to a close with a few words and the dedication of merits for world peace, harmony, and stability.
Members of the Sangha, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, we truly rejoice with the efforts that you have put into this 24 hours metta initiative. This initiative of 24-hour metta is actually to plant the seed of metta in your hearts. Metta is a very powerful force, the force of loving kindness. When you have loving kindness, then all the great merits, all the great virtues will begin to grow. Do you know, when you are angry, especially when you're very angry with someone, you tend to forget. Your mind is totally clouded and you forget all the goodness that the others have done for you. Isn't it? Yeah. And what metta does is, as you do it again and again, again and again, it helps to clear that layer of veil that cloud your mind. When you have metta, you will naturally have that forgiving heart and be able to seek forgiveness with one another. Yeah. I remember my first assignment to Singapore after my studies in Sri Lanka. The late Chief Reverend sent me to Singapore. And every year, I would remind our devotees, members, to seek forgiveness, especially during the Chinese New Year. And one occasion, this woman, at that time in Singapore, we only have a very small hall, everybody packed in. And this woman arrived at a place in a taxi, and she simply rushed into the hall where we were chanting. And she just shouted and says, "Bhante, I did it, I did it." Then everyone was shocked. Yeah, they were still chanting. So I waited until the chanting finished, and then I asked her, I called her aside and I says, "What did you do?" She says, "Bhante, you told me to do. You told us to seek forgiveness." And this morning, I bowed down before my mother-in-law, whom I have not spoken for 6 years. I bowed down and I seek forgiveness. And then she cried, I cried, and I'm so happy. And that's why I came here to tell you I did it. Yeah? I don't know if you have got good mother-in-laws, but you can try. Yeah? And it's not only in-laws, but also your loved ones. Yeah. whether it be your spouse, your brothers, sisters, yeah. Because the love that you have to one another, especially when you live a household life, that love is actually conditioned by craving, by attachment. And naturally there will be anger. Especially those who are married after a certain age, when both partners, husband and wife, they don't care so much of their looks anymore. They are not so attractive anymore. So the kind of love, and they cannot enjoy so much. And that is why we hear there's so many. You may not have heard of it, but I have heard of it. People who are married for 30, 40 years get separated. Yeah. Because they still cling on to that love which is of very worldly nature. And that is why it's so important for us to learn to upgrade our love. And the highest love that we can give is actually metta, loving kindness. It is the love for all sentient beings. When you wish all beings to be well and happy. Can you see the difference? When you love your husband, wife, children, you only say, I love you. Right? And there are conditions attached, isn't it? That you cannot love others. I'm not promoting permissive society, but that is the kind of worldliness. Right? You need that worldliness, you need the kind of affection to bind yourself for a certain period of time. But as we age, this is how, if you really understand what the Buddha taught in the Mangala Sutta, in life's highest blessing. In the Maha Mangala Sutta, the Buddha laid out the direction of life. The first stage of life, when we all study to prepare ourselves to face, to encounter the world, and that takes about 20 to 25 years, from nursery school, primary, secondary, university, colleges, whatever. Yeah. And those who choose to marry, then you are bounded for another 20 to 25 years to look after your children, to pave the way for them, to get education and so on. By then, you would have experienced life, what life is about. Because when you turn 50, your parents will be in their 70s or 80s. Then you start to see what old age is about. And not only that, you begin to experience some kind of separation. The children that you love so much, that you care for so much, now they move away from you. Yeah? All these things you begin to start to see what dukkha is about. And that is when you enter the third stage of life. After you have completed your duties, your responsibilities towards your children, the third stage of life is when you should develop your spirituality to become more spiritual. In those times, they used to say the vanaprashta, to go to the forest in India. Going to forests is to live the life as a spiritual being. And the Buddha laid out certain values, certain prerequisites as garavocha, nivatocha, santutticha, katanyutta, kalena dhammasavanam, etang mangala muttamam. Garavocha, respect. You learn how to respect. Respecting is not only at a physical level, bowing down, clasping your hands. That is one way of at a physical level. But when you respect your parents, when you respect your teachers, you will listen to them, you will follow their instructions. That is what respect is about. Reverence. Humility. Humility. You are humble. Yeah. Now this is something which the education system that we have, the modern system of education, they do not teach that. That is why we find so many parents get disappointed. When they send the children overseas, the children study, they are graduated, they feel, you see, the kind of humbleness goes away. There is the vanity. They're very proud and even arrogant. Yeah. That is why you find it so difficult, especially those who have children who are so-called educated. You find very difficult for you to bring them to temple. Yeah. But you should not give up. Keep on cultivating those values. The values of reverence, humility, contentment, and gratitude. Because those who do not listen to you will one day, even after you are gone, they will remember you. Because that is the model that you need to cultivate. Because when you have these qualities, garocha, nivatocha, santuticha, katanyutta, these are the qualities that will open the way for your spiritual path. And that is how the seeds of enlightenment will be sown. First you sow the seed of metta, loving kindness, to open your hearts. Yeah. And remember that most people think of love, they try to find love from outside. But the true love is actually coming from within our hearts. So that is why when we practice metta, loving kindness, Yes, we have the thoughts that all things be well and happy, but not only at the thinking level, but we must feel. Feel that sense of wellness, the well-being. With regards to the chanting of Metta Sutta, yes, we rejoice with all those who have taken the trouble to memorize. But when you come here to 24 hours Metta and you start to recite Metta Sutta again and again, after reciting once or twice you feel very boring. And even those of you who listen to Metta Sutta, you also feel very bored, right? You know why? There is something lacking. First we learn how to recite, then we understand what is being recited. Then we connect with our heart, and our chanting will be different. Our chanting will not be only sounds, but it will actually come from deep within our hearts. And that's where the loving kindness will flow. And that's where the whole space around us will be charged with metta, with loving kindness. And this is where I would like to suggest next year for organizers to consider and let me have a feedback. That if you have a 1 hour time slot for chanting, perhaps you chant for half an hour and you sit for another half an hour. What about that? Yeah? And especially those of you who have attended the Samatha Vipassana sessions and Metta mindfulness sessions on Sundays. Yeah? Now that you are able to sit for at least half an hour, then consider this. Do the chanting half an hour, and then for the next half hour, you will play the guided meditation, and then you will sit and meditate for half an hour. Yeah. Let me know. Organizers, let me know how, and then we promote that. Those people who are not ready to meditate, it's okay. They can fill up that half an hour chanting. And some people who got a bit tired of chanting, then they can come to fill half an hour of meditation. But we should have both, the chanting as well as meditation. Chant and meditate, chant and meditate. Yeah. That is how. Now, how to take this practice to another level? As I mentioned that you have, all of you who have participated in this 24 hours metta, you have actually sown the seed of metta in your heart. This word metta comes to you. And please try from today, at least for the next 3 days. Yeah. Try. Before you go to sleep tonight, and pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Just a very short one, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. And then, in all humility, seek forgiveness for whatever wrong, any wrong thoughts, any wrong speech, wrong body action that we have committed during the day, we seek forgiveness. And we seek blessings, guidance and protection, so that we'll be able to improve the next day. Then you sleep. And when you get up in the morning, get up with joy, with metta, loving kindness, the feeling of wellness, that be well and happy, and all be well and happy. And try. With whoever that you see, whether it be at home, when you leave for work, with whoever that you see on the roads, have good wish for them all. You don't have to smile at everyone and then, because you can create complications. Yeah? But in your heart, you just wish one another to be well and happy. You try. Yeah. I actually tried this for nearly 2 years. From the first time I learned what metta is about, from my lay teacher before I became a monk. Then, morning and night, I will practice metta, loving kindness. I don't sleep, I don't wake up without wishing my parents, my teachers, and whoever that has supported me, because when I was my lay teacher, we were traveling in various places and receive hospitality from people. So I always wish them all to be well and happy. Yeah. And when I see people in the streets, farmers in America, I wish them all to be well. And you have to modify a little bit of your wish. When you see school children walking in the streets, you wish them to be successful. When you see farmers plowing the field, you wish them to have good harvests. That's how they'll be happy at least. Yeah. And when you see a pregnant woman, you wish both mother and child be safe. Yeah. Have the kind of wholesome thoughts. Try to cultivate the kind of wholesome thoughts. After doing that for about 2 years, I found myself transformed. And I used to get upset with things very easily. But after 2 years, I found it difficult to get upset so easily. Yeah. Then I saw the cause of anger. Why do we get angry with one another? It is because of our craving. It is because of our attachment. Attachment to what? Especially attachment to our ideas, our view that I am right and you are not right. Yeah. We all quarrel with one another, we all argue because of what? Because of views. Yeah. Yeah. And these views, where does this come from? It comes from the deluded idea of the self, of I and my. Yeah. In the conventional world, we all use these terms, I, my, me, mine. But when we come to Dhamma, we realize what is this I? What is this my about? This self that you call your own, we have the physical aspect, what we call rupa. Then we have feelings. We have ability to perceive things, to cognize things, and to remember and memories. We are able to create thoughts, and we have consciousness. We are aware of something that is presented before us. Now, these are the 5 things which we call panchakanda, the 5 aggregates. And what is the characteristic, what is the nature of these 5 aggregates? They are constantly in a state of flux, in the state of change. Our body changes, feeling changes, our mind change. One moment we say yes, next moment no, right? Everything change. But we don't realize. This is what the whole practice of mindfulness, the systematic practice of mindfulness, is to lead us to realize the true nature of ourself. And when you realize the true nature of the self, that is when you break the concept of I am I. You still use the words I am I, but you realize there's something more. Yeah. This is what you find, I think, in the goodie bag. Please look for the booklet on metta and mindfulness. That is the result of 50 years of practice. Yeah. Even before I became a monk, I was taught to practice mindfulness from a very practical level. How to cook mindfully. You know how to cook mindfully? Do you hear noise? Ting, pang, piang, washing dishes. I did that. I cooked for my teacher. Early morning, when it's all so quiet, and the moment he hears this sound, he will ask, "What is that?" As if he doesn't know. That made me even more mindful. And so mindful, I became nervous, and the plate simply fall down and break. And then, no comments, not a single word from him, because he knows. Because I am so stressed. And if you try to say something, you try to point out, I will run away. Yeah. So my teacher knows that's how I was being guided. Guided to practice mindfulness at the very practical level. Yeah. I don't read books. I don't study. I don't hear all the teachings about it. Just a few things, but I kept on practicing that again and again and again. Yeah. It was only when I went to Sri Lanka, went for studies in Sri Lanka, towards the end of my 5 years, then I studied Mahasatipatthana Sutta. What the Buddha taught on the cultivation of mindfulness. And I studied it from a word-by-word approach, from a very scholar, Pali scholar. It took me 3 months, while practicing, and also to learn it word by word. And after that, I totally forgot. When I went to the forest, I went to Thailand, went to Burma in various places. And not until I came back to Sri Lanka, then I started to learn how this theory is put into practice in terms of the samatha vipassana practice. Yeah. I have waited for a long time to put some of the teachings that I've been instructed into words. After many years of teaching and seeing how people benefit from these teachings, when I saw my own mother passed away, smiling, and when I saw others, after having practiced, when they pass on with a smile, I realize that these teachings are valid. It can be verified. Yeah. And so that is the result. So please take time to read. And that's how you upgrade your practice. Metta cannot be really practiced without mindfulness. Today, when you go back, observe your state of mind. Whenever you are angry, you must know, you must be mindful that you are angry. That is mindfulness, understanding your state of mind. Yeah. And then, in the evening, when you do your religious routine, then you seek forgiveness. The seeking forgiveness is to admit that you have not perfected. You are not perfected, you still make mistakes. In all humility, you seek forgiveness to improve yourself the next day. And again you make mistake, again. This is how we keep on practicing until we break the habit pattern. Yeah. So, I hope that this, I saw how the services that you were rendering from the registration and to lighting of the oil lamp, lighting of the lamp and so on, the decoration of it. Now it has taken a lot of time and effort. And somehow this year we saw a few more participants, new ones. When you are doing this, you may not realize that the efforts that you put in actually goes a long way, because most people come, they do not know what metta is about. They see 24-hour metta, but they don't know what it's about. First thing that they are attracted to is what? The decorations. When they see the Buddha, I saw how the Buddha there and all the lights decorated, and how some people will go there and they sort of really admire that, and then but they do not know what to do, so they just walk around. They see others walk around, they walk around. Yeah. But that is how we learn. And that's how things start to impress in our mind. Yeah. But the chances are that in this long samsaric cycle of birth and death, there will be those who come The moment they see the Buddha, the moment they see the lights, kindling lights, this thing, something just flare up in them. Now I say this because all of you, all those of you who have spent many hours preparing for this 24-hour metta, if you are not enlightened by this lifetime, the next lifetime, when you see Buddha and you see light, you'll be so happy. Truly. And when you see all the decorations, you see that you would just be happy. I'd like to share with you one little story. How I came to Dhamma. I was about 12 years old. In Malacca, my parents took me to my grandfather's house to observe the Vesak procession. I did not know anything about Buddha. From upstairs, I was looking at people, the flowers they were carrying and all sorts of things in the procession. That actually have impressed in my mind. Then after that, when I came down on the table, on the dining table, there were some booklets on life of the Buddha in a comic form. I just glanced through it. I did not know what it was all about. And that was it. That was the day. Few days later, few days or few weeks later, I had a dream. And that's where I dreamt monks, 3 monks, pulling me by my hand. I didn't even know who they were. It's only after I went to the temple, I saw how monks dressed like this, then I realized they were monks. And now, how it sparked off, it is just that procession, looking through the booklet, the comic about Buddha. I don't understand, but all these things sort of spark out. It sort of kindle the experience of the past that has been sown in our hearts. And that is why it's so important to plant that seed, the seed of metta and the seed of wisdom. The rest, I have waited for a long time to give you a message on New Year occasion. Every year, I thought I have to wish you all happy and prosperous New Year. But this year, I took the courage to wish you to have a truly happy and prosperous New Year. Please read this message again and again. Yeah? Because I've waited a long time to say this, because I grew up in a place where there were many wealthy people. Yeah. And those who know in Malacca, in Heron Street, they're very wealthy people. Yeah. Once upon a time. Yeah. And I saw how the wealth dwindled. Yeah. Because of their craving, because of their attachment, they don't want their wealth to get out of the family. So they intermarry. Yeah. They're very careful about that. And the wealth cannot last for more than a few generations. I saw the rise and fall of wealthy people. My parents told me all the story. And this I verified when I traveled in America. I stayed in big houses, big cars, but there was no happiness in the family. So from very young age, at 20, 21, I realized that in my early 20s, I realized that money alone does not give happiness. And this is what I'm very passionate about, promoting values of metta, loving kindness. Just wish yourself well and happy and smile. At first is the smile in your heart, but try to smile a little bit bigger. Those who have been to our Metta convention in 2018 at PICC, and I think Dr. Chen Hung taught us and how it's so important to have a big smile. And he even taught us, if we cannot, then you have a chopstick. Bite the chopstick and you will activate the muscles, the nerves here, and that nerves trigger off your brain cells, and that trigger your perception in life. So please smile more. Sometimes you practice metta, you meditate, but very sour. Sorry. It's because sometimes things clear. Their clearing take place, so there's pain and ache, there's this thing, you can't help it. Even I also feel, sometimes I feel very tight with this thing. But it takes some time after you practice, then open your heart and just smile. Thank you all so much and rejoice. I'd like to remind you once again that the offerings that you have made just now, it's a token offering of light. That the merits that you have acquired, you offer to the Buddha. That's why you see, we don't have so many flowers, so many fruits and all that, because we really want to wish you all how to offer your practice. So when you offer this practice, you know that the offering of practice is a great merit. Then share this merit with all Dhamma protectors. Now, you already learned, some of you have learned how to share merits, but upgrade your practice and invite the Dhamma protectors properly. Don't scare them. And invite your departed relatives and friends also in a very cordial manner, right? So this is how we do it. First, bring your mind within. All of you, just bring your attention within. Observe the calm, the quietness within. In the calmness, in the quietness of mind, just have the thought that all beings be well and happy. Feel it from your heart that all beings be well and happy. Those of you who can visualize, you visualize all beings smiling. In this wholesome state of mind, share the merits with all the Dhamma protectors, all the guardian deities. Dhamma protectors are those people who have vowed, who have determined to protect those who live the Dhamma life. They can be human or non-humans. So think of them wherever they are. We share this marriage with all the Dhamma protectors, all our guardian deities, those who have been guiding and protecting us, including the guardian deities of Samadhi Vihara and the traditional owners of this land. May they rejoice in this marriage, and may they give blessings and protection to all. And let us dedicate this marriage also for the spiritual well-being and happiness of all our departed relatives, teachers and friends. Whoever that comes to your mind, have the good wish for them all. That wherever they are born, may they have opportunity to receive Dhamma, to be guided, to grow in the Dhamma's path, and to be released from the cycle of birth and death one day. With all the good thoughts and the merits that you have acquired, please make your wish, make your aspiration, that the merits of this occasion will become a cause and support for your final liberation one day. That you will have the strength, you will have the courage and wisdom to overcome whatever difficulties, whatever obstacle that may arise in your lives. That the seed of enlightenment be sown in your hearts, so that you will walk the noble path and be free from all sufferings one day. And may you also have the wisdom, the compassion to help others, whoever that comes by your way. Please make your wish, make your aspiration. Whatever immediate problems, immediate difficulties that you are encountered, have faith, have confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Also think of those who are near and dear to you, whatever problems that they have. We wish them well as we invoke blessings. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te. Akasata ca bummata deva naga maidika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu loka sasanang. Akasata ca bummata deva naga mahidika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu desanang. Akasata ca bummata deva naga mahidika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu mang parangti. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Avivadana silisa nichang vada pachayino. Chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayu vanno sukhang balang. Ayurarogya sampaga sampati mevacha. Ato nibbana sampatti minate samicchatu. By the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and all the merits that you have acquired, may your wish, may your aspiration come true, and may you all have long, healthy, happy lives, and grow in the Dhamma's progress, in the Dhamma's path, and to be free from all sufferings one day. Well, I wish you all a truly happy and prosperous New Year. Yeah. And I just have two announcements to make. One announcement is that, in November, end of November, we have launched, the Aloka Foundation have launched the Metta Care Malaysia. So please, those of you who are still able and who have some time, please volunteer for this cause, that if you are able, that to be able to be of some service to our elders, yeah, and I've seen quite a few of our elders, and so metta care, and then you please contact Sister Kim and Metta there. Metta Care for Metta Care. Can you see Metta? Yeah, her name is Metta. I gave her name Metta a long time ago, and so she's in charge of Metta Care. Please, and we need caregiver as well as care receiver, right? If you are able to give some cares, visit, and give some helping hand, fantastic. If you need to receive care, also let her know. Yeah, and then the next one is Sister Amara. Actually, they are two sisters. Yeah, Sister Amara, and she is in charge of another project. This is the BMSM project on Dhammadutta for Vesak 2025. Dhammadutta for Vesak 2025, right? And this is something which each and every one of you can participate and contribute towards. Because do you know the significance of Vesak? The birth, enlightenment, passing away. What has that got to do with our own lives? You ask Amara later. But you must give her your contact, okay? And then it is so good to see all of you, and let us, and I'll stay on for Vesak. I'll see you all again here with Vesak, okay? Sadhu, Rejoice is here, yeah. Oh, I'll be here, I think, when is it, Satima? On Saturday, Sunday, I have, on the 5th of January, right? Is that open to all? Okay, I'll be here again and, on the 5th of January. Sunday, is it? Sunday. What time? Oh, we are after the puja, 10 o'clock. Yeah, and I will explain to you the New Year message a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Dear brothers and sisters, I would like to now respectfully invite Bhante Mahinda to present the mementos to our branches and section. May I invite a representative from the BMSM Kajang branch to come forward to receive the memento, please, from Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And the next is Putrajaya branch. May I invite Professor Dr. Tan Awang Besar to receive the memento, please. And next, I would like to invite Shalam branch, Sister Satima, to receive the memento, please. And last but not least, the welfare section, Brother Lam Kaiwa. Brothers and sisters, before we end, Sister Lo Pai Ling, the chairman of BMSM, would like to, president of BMSM, has an announcements to make.
Thank you, Sister Amara, and with the izin, dengan permission from the Mahasangha, yes, in this happy feel of atmosphere, a happy news to announce. And some, maybe not all, most of you may know that we have a new center in Putrajaya. And the plan is we'd like to have an official opening next year. But before the opening, with the advice from Bhante, we would like to have a Mahasangha Dana to bless. Yeah? And in conjunction with that, we will have the first food fair, fundraising. For your information, brothers and sisters, we don't have enough yet. Yeah? So the BMSM Putrajaya branch, we organized a food fair fundraising on the 15th of March. Please note the date, yeah? And all of you are invited to either take up a store with your specialty. Not tak semesti makanan, ya, your handicraft pun boleh, kan? And of course, our own family member branches and section. Brother Reddy is there with the form. You can get the form, and of course from our chairman, Brother Professor Dr. Tan Awang Besar, okay, full name, yeah. And the scheduled opening will be on the 3rd of May, 1 week, about 10 days before the Vesak. For further information, we'll update you later. Okay, thank you, brothers and sisters. Maybe you are happy.
Thank you, Sister Pai Ling. Brothers and sisters, we have now come to the end of the ceremony. I would like to now respectfully invite members of the Mahasangha to proceed for Sangika Dana. May we rise to invite members of the Sangha.